Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by Bet365. Bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets when you use the promo code Leading Off only at Bet365. It is me, Joey P. That, of course, is the Welsh, and it's you, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks. Not a lot from yesterday in baseball, but certainly we're going to talk about the James Wood debut. Very exciting stuff there. The baseball world was abuzz. A lot of games today, full slate. We've got some bets for you. We got a lot of fun things going on, and because of the July 4th holiday, we will not be working July 4th, everybody. We want you and everyone else out there to enjoy the holiday, but us, more importantly, enjoy the holiday as well. We want to take some time off here.
Me,
a little
actually,
bit of
like just me.
Yeah, Welsh needs a blow on July 4th there, so we're going to give him a blow on July 4th. All the fireworks, he's going to go enjoy them, and we'll be back on Friday. But because of that, we're moving things up. Prospecting with the Welsh tomorrow. Today, waiver wire, just so you get all the information you need. Welsh, first of all, I have to start the show off with an apology because I bullied you into a home run pick yesterday. Because I just wanted to have fun with you. I just wanted you and me once to have fun. And if James Wood, after all the James Wood stuff, hit a home run in his debut yesterday, we would have been so happy together, frolicking hand in hand through the
We would have made AI. It'd have been you, me, and James Wood holding hands, running through a baseball field. Everybody in this live stream knew Yordan Alvarez was hitting a homer yesterday. As soon as I was like, well, I was going to take Yordan Alvarez, but I'll go with you. The chat was like, Yordan. And guess what? I didn't know Yordan Alvarez hit a homer, except it then got tweeted to
Twitter
me, of course. And as soon as someone just tweeted me Yordan, I went, we all knew it was going to happen. I should have went with it. I would probably be at 22 homers right now had I just followed the path that I've laid out for myself, but I deviate from it because I get weird brain thing, and I did follow the James Wood. But
I'm okay with giving you the home run, but I'm sure Fred Dinger won't.
I know Cards would just
Cards would, take it to the league office, probably
take it to the Supreme Court. We're not going to do that, so no, don't worry about that.
We got some rookie stuff, though, too. A lot of rookie stuff going on, but let's just jump in right to the James Wood. Singled, had a walk, 5 plate appearances yesterday. The game went to extra innings. So, it's a nice first moment. Comes up there, gets a great ovation from the home crowd. Good to see the Nats fans excited, really excited again for something like this. These, back in the day, we were excited for Strasburg and Soto and all these things. It's been a while. If you're a Nats fan since the World Series, basically, that you've been excited for anything. 3 of the 4 balls he put in play yesterday, 107 mile-an-hour single, all had 96, 95 exit velo, if you're into that kind of thing. Mackenzie Gore in that game as well, 1 run over 5 2/3, struck out 8 Mets yesterday. So I just wanted to kind of revisit the Soto trade for a second now that we have James Wood up. Mackenzie Gore, 16 starts this year, 6-7, a 3.60 ERA. He's got a K per 9 over 10. CJ Abrams hitting 282 with a 5.13 slugging and 8.52 OPS, 13 homers, 42 RBI, 13 steals. James Wood, obviously up already, had a great AAA season. Robert Hassel, 49 games, still kind of, mid, figuring things out a little bit there. He's got 11 steals, hitting 278, but the slugging is only at 369. So, looking back on it all, now we have a little bit more perspective. The Nats made some hard decisions. Clearly, the best decision would not have been to spend money on Steven Strasburg. It would have been to spend on the position player. They did not. After that decision was made, now that you have some perspective, what is your perspective of this trade, looking back on it a few years later?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look good. Like that's the easy way to say it. But there is...
I'm surprised that's the take here. Expound.
Well, no, I like you can do the path though, because then they trade. Well, because here's the deal: they traded 3, major league level players. They traded away, and you've got Gore, you've got James Wood, which could be helping this team right now. What I look at though is they traded away Soto, and they got back Drew Thorpe, and then they turned Drew Thorpe into Dylan Cease. So, you can kind of run through the path of like, all right, they got a year of Soto. And then they turned Soto into Dylan Cease, which I guess it kind of like it helps itself. My problem is when you trade that weight of great players, I mean, specifically it's Gore and Wood. When you trade that weight, and Abrams, I keep forgetting about Abrams. That was the third in there.
He's been pretty solid.
He's the core piece here. When you trade that level and then you can't re-sign and bring Soto back, then I think it's a failure. And
No,
that's
I was
what.
thinking from the okay. So I'm thinking from the Nats side that I think they've done pretty well here.
Oh, I think
You
they
were
have.
thinking about Padres. I wasn't even thinking about the Padres. I'm talking about the Nats side of this deal. I'm looking at it, and it was heartbreaking at the time. Still not the right decision. You should have paid Soto whatever he wanted and bought out all the years and just backed up the truck for him because you knew he was going to be your franchise talent for the next decade. Instead, they didn't. But now Abrams, Wood, Gore, is that
But
enough to show for that move? I
yeah,
think the
but
answer
I
right
thought
now
it
is
was.
yes.
I
Yeah.
always kind of thought it was, though. Like when that trade happened, I got
I
it.
was not. I was skeptical, far more skeptical at the time.
I think I had optimism to Mackenzie Gore, though during that time, Mackenzie Gore was kind of a mess with the Padres. CJ Abrams believed in, and James Wood, we knew the upside was. Plus, they still got Yarlin Susana, and I think Hassel's not going to happen, but Susana has a chance to at worst be, a relief pitcher in there. But this is it's an
Luke
interesting
Voigt
trade.
was in that deal too. Let's not forget he was playing in the Mexican League.
I will say multiple teams that have traded off that felt wrong have. I think the White Sox are another example of it was like, oh, we're trading away Giolito and we're trading away Dylan Cease. But then you look and you're like, they're a couple position players in their minors away from having a really great system and bouncing back. I think the Nationals are proof of that. And a guy like James Wood in that debut, you got to see a little bit of everything on hand. You got to see him work that first at bat really hard. I mean, he drove that count up. You get to see the hard hit, drives an opposite field single, 107. You saw the speed. They ruled the second one an error. We're going to be honest with you. He was right there at first, and then he moved over to second. You just didn't get to see him get the ball in the air and see some of the wild stuff that he can do. As I mentioned, lefties, he doesn't put big extra base hits on. A bad strikeout, but he was also taking early strikes just to kind of see the counts. I thought there was, again, it's one start. There's so much good out of it for James Wood, and people should really be excited. And also just to reiterate your other point when you brought up Mackenzie Gore, I think Mackenzie Gore has just been sneaky good all year. This is the Gore that I saw coming out of high school. This is the Gore I saw in the backfields for the Padres, whipping that curveball in, threw it 19% of the time in his last start, had a 45% whiff rate. The curveball looks amazing. Sliders eaten, 38% whiff rate in this start. Mackenzie Gore is a great dynasty buy right now as well. But James Wood should make us feel pretty good. Now, I think we can spend the next month, hopefully, feeling really good about prospects, as we mentioned yesterday, Churio and Langford. Now, James Wood is that we can feel positive, and Caminero probably going to be an option coming off of the All-Star break, but we'll talk about more of that tomorrow, I suppose.
More tomorrow. Teaser, that's what they call it in the business. Hunter Brown, still good, on the roll, 6 scoreless innings, more for the Astros, beating up on the Blue Jays 3-1.
He's so good.
He's been
Hunter
so good.
Brown has
been lower of the year right now, probably, or one of the top 5 anyway.
I think his last 5 starts, he's had a sub-1 ERA. He's just not this major whiffy strikeout pitcher because he's become more heavy sinker, but the sinker has saved him. He had 45 swings in this start yesterday, only 8 induced whiffs, and the called strike ratio was, down as far as whiffs go too, because that's just not necessarily his game. He'll pump in the fastball. That's actually getting some of the strikeouts. Sinker, cutter, weak contact. He's been so good. You said it, one of the best buys of the year. And I just roll the rest of the season. I don't think he's going to be sub-1 ERA or anything like that to finish out, but I think he is going to finish out very strong. And we're going to be talking about him maybe as a top 15 SP next year if he continues this role.
The Yankees pitching coach Matt Blake has been working with Carlos Rodon, trying to get a better approach in terms of the fastball, because we mentioned earlier this week that Carlos Rodon up to 20 earned runs now in his last 3 starts. Guys are having opposing batters have a 1253 OPS over that span, so that's not been good. Tonight you get Luis Heel. So, Welsh, how are you feeling about this start here for our boy Louis tonight?
On paper,
little tension, little tense,
little tension. Shout out, my boy Dennis Sidler actually was with Luis Heel yesterday. There's a thing at a brewery or whatever. But on paper, in theory, this is a good spot for Luis Heel. This is a team that, the walks aren't going to be up there. You're going to have guys swinging through their shoes. His Ks have been solid. The only problem is his stuff has been a little bit off. He's been sitting inside the plate a little bit more. And then when he gets inside the plate, he starts throwing balls. He has got to get back to that big, efficient, crazy pitch mix stuff. I'm cautiously optimistic for what Cole did for me on Sunday or Saturday, whatever it was. Heel gets back to heelness and becomes the king of the heel. Luis, gonna do some business.
Oh, that was a really good dad joke.
It's king of the heel. Yeah,
that's solid work there. All right, let's have some
Dang
fun
it,
here.
Luis.
I don't know if you buy Bob Nightingale. His track record's not always great about reporting things. So
is there anybody worse? Is there anybody with a worse track record?
No, this is,
I forgot. You have a thing with Morosi.
I don't have a thing with it. Was pointed out to me years ago. And ever since, it's like, that thing that you can't unsee it once you've seen it. And then every time I see him in the offseason, all he does is basically create clickbait nonsense. Like,
I mean, that's Nightingale, though.
And he was also the guy that got, who was the guy that also got destroyed about the Ohtani Toronto thing?
Oh, was that him?
Uh-huh.
I actually thought that was Nightingale, to be honest with you.
It might have been both of them, but Morosi.
Maybe they're one person. Maybe they're really just like those clickbait accounts that are out there.
Apparently, now that the Mets are hovering around 500, that Pete Alonso may not be traded at the deadline. But we'll believe that one when I see it. However, the White Sox do intend to trade Garrett Crochet, which, by the way, fun fact, leading the league in strikeouts, Garrett Crochet, and more than Tyler Glasnow. I did not have that on my bingo card.
I did a video. I just did the video on him, or I think I mentioned on here, but since June 1st, 37% K percentage, and he has the best K minus walk percentage since June as well. He's been unreal, but that was the thing. That was why we presented. Dang it. I completely forgot about this. Dang it. Because we asked people to, should we trade Garrett Crochet in the videos? And people were commenting. And oh man, someone had such a good comment, and I forgot it. I don't know if I can pull it back up.
Well, I have more things to roll through if you want to go see if you can find the comment. So yeah, I'll here. Rookie lucky time. The Brewers sent Tyler Black down to AAA again. Kobe Mayo, apparently, a little interview yesterday with Mike Elias says that Kobe Mayo really doesn't have much to prove left in the minor leagues. Well, should we going to get a Kobe Mayo call up soon? It feels like we might. Feels like it.
Said there was only two guys worth stashing, and that was James Wood last week and Kobe Mayo. He's absolutely on fire. They just got to make room for him. I don't know how comfortable this team is with, this many rookies. Jackson Holiday didn't work. Kerstad has actually been pretty solid since he's gotten back. So I don't know how they make it work, but I completely agree. He does not need to be in the minors anymore. He's got very little to prove.
The White Sox are promoting Kai Busch from Double to Triple A. He's 24 years old. He was the guy in the Giolito Lopez deal. 5-3 with a 2.12 ERA, a 78 to 33 strikeout walk rate in 80 innings. Is this something that the Dynasty folks should be paying attention to? I know he wasn't like the highest rated prospect necessarily, but certainly from a performance standpoint, put up a 2 ERA in Double A, like that has my attention.
Yeah, all those guys. That's what I was talking about with the White Sox. Like their system is so unique and interesting because what they did was they did the anti-dynasty thing. That's what I tell a lot of people. People will send me these trade things and they'll be like, "Hey, I'm trading away these great prospects for a pitcher," and I'm like, don't go buy pitchers when you're revamping your dynasty. Do that kind of last, or don't have trade away great hitters and be the centerpiece be pitchers. But in real baseball, that is what you want to do, and that's what the White Sox did. They prioritized getting guys like Thorpe and Iriarte and Kai Busch, Nick Nastrini from the Dodgers. I think Kai Busch is more of a back-end rotation player, but the good thing is they've all been working, and that's why they were all in Double-A with Edgar Cuero. They've all been working with their same guy, and I think that's built a lot of confidence. I think, again, it's a streamer. It's not something that we're looking to pick up big term. But by the way, here was the comment on Garrett Crochet because we wanted all these people's take, which there's some good ones in here. We had, I'm holding, no trade. Garrett Crochet will get traded and get an extension with somebody's take. A bunch of others.
That's a take I agree with.
Football Mania said, I believe it would be insane to trade Crochet unless you get a huge haul. Starters, not prospects. That's what I would do. But this was my favorite. The Moving Blanket said, I'm buying yarn to knit because I believe in crochet. That was the dad joke inside of me that loved that comment. So good job making comments from everybody on the video.
Marcelo Mayer was not playing yesterday in Double-A. He has a back issue he's working through, but Welsh mentioned him the other day on his video too. I believe Marcelo Mayer is another guy that you were talking about or recently
a while back, but
A while
but David
back,
Hamilton,
not last one, but a couple of months ago.
Yeah, and David Hamilton, that's been the big one. Though I'll say the batting average is like tapering
Mayer
down
looked
a tiny
307, 371, 479 slash at AA. That's pretty good.
No,
Like,
it's really good, and that I had pointed him out, and but at the time I was very dismissive of David Hamilton. I was like, the only thing holding Marcelo Mayer back from coming up is David Hamilton. To a degree, I think that still kind of applies. But Hamilton, 270, 21 stolen bases. His expected batting average is around the general same area. He's barreling up. Like, he's just had like a really solid, good season. But in May, when I was dismissive, he was hitting 333. In June, he's down to 253, but he did just steal 12 bases in June. So I think Mayer is a guy that they could look at, especially as they're looking to, continue on, win games and stuff like that, if Hamilton tapers back. But they do like Hamilton right now.
You know what time it is, Welsh?
What time?
It's time to hit the waiver wire for week 15 with Joey P and the Welsh. I've got some names for you. Believe it or not, 2 Mets. I don't know what the world's coming to.
Really?
Christian Scott's going to get the call again, coming back up to make a start Wednesday against the Nats, and he's rostered in just 54% of leagues. A lot of people had to drop him. Roster crunch, I understand. The guy was spectacular when he was pitching for the New York Mets. Looking for him, replacing Tyler McGill long-term in this. People are saying, well, they're not committing to him. I'm going to commit to him. Regardless, you got to add this guy as soon as you possibly can. 54% is too low for Scott. And the Mets are hovering around 500. All of a sudden are more relevant. He's got a 3.90 ERA, 25 strikeouts, just 6 walks over 27 innings with the Mets this year. Another Met, and I'm putting this out there because he was on a waiver wire video I did like a month ago, and he's still just 66% rostered, even though he has a 900 OPS, and it's Mark Vientos.
Yeah.
How is he still just 66% rostered? Okay, let's just talk about this for a moment. Over his last 9 games heading into this week, 324 batting average, 7 RBI, 10 runs scored. Okay. On the year, he is slashing 297, 355, 578, 10 homers, 23 RBI, 24 runs scored. Now, he's not stealing any bases. That's fine. But Welsh, Mark Vientos qualifies at first, qualifies at third, plays every day. He's got a 900 OPS. How in the hell is he just at 66%?
Hands up. I'm putting my hands up because I completely agree. Like I did this on ITL yesterday. Mark Vientos is the number 1 pickup if he is available in any format. And guess what? He was under it was under 62% in CBS when we did it yesterday, way under in other formats. You did some of the surface level stuff. I mean, 10 homers, 301 batting average kind of speaks for itself, but underlying an elite 15% barrel rate. He is hitting the ball really hard, averaging over 90 EV with a 113 max. And he's cut his strikeouts by 8%. Down to like not just a solid number. He was 30% last year. He's down to 22%, just making great contact with huge power that can pull it on all sides of the field. I am a big Mark Vientos pickup guy. And I think you were like ahead of all of that. So good on you if anybody listened.
If you go back and watch the shows on Leading Off, when Beatty was struggling, I was telling people, go pick up Vientos. He's red hot at AAA. He was hot in spring training. There's no reason not to add this guy. And Beatty, of course, got sent down. Now, I know Beatty's all of a sudden hit for some power. I really don't care. Vientos isn't giving up that job anytime soon. So
look at this.
If anything, Beatty's a guy that's trade bait at some point.
Go to Angelo, put Angelo's comment up, and then put Michael Impo's comment up. Because
18.6% rostered to ESPN leagues. That's crazy. And Yahoo, 56% rostered. Mine is on CBS. That's the roster percentage I gave you. So it's absurd. He needs to be rostered. Heston Kjerstad also not rostered enough. 55%. You got to hold this guy on your roster. Available in 50% of leagues. 13 games on the year so far. 2 homers, 8 RBI. He's hitting 300. He's a 400 OBP at the big league level so far over those 13 games. He's going to be a contributor as the year goes on for the Orioles. And if not, then he's going to be an everyday player somewhere else. So I understand some of the platoon stuff is a little annoying. I don't care. Kjerstad needs to be rostered in more leagues. Same with Landon Knack of the Dodgers. In the meantime here, before the Dodgers make any moves, in the month of July, Knack is going to keep getting some starts. He's got a 2.08 ERA, a 0.96 whip, 25 strikeouts, 8 walks in 30 innings so far. With Walker Buehler's issues, with Bobby Miller's issues, with Clayton Kershaw's shoulder, Yamamoto on the IL. Look, there's room at the table for Landon Knack. He's rostered in 24% of leagues, and he gives you win equity every single day he takes the mound because he pitches for the Dodgers. Welsh, I'm shocked that he's just 24% rostered on CBS right now.
I'm not sure if I'm like shocked,
it's a low number.
Yeah, but like when you're you're like expanding it and you're looking at like, all right, who are teams for players that you would want to pick up if they're getting opportunities? It's like the Dodgers would be that one. There's a little Gavin Stone in him, and it's like low K percentage when he put up some big K percentage in the minors.
I'll take all the Gavin Stone I can handle right now because he's been tremendous.
I don't disagree.
Right.
I don't disagree with that at all, but I'm just saying like there's some underlying stuff that like you don't get away with. Like a Dylan Cease is a prime example of a guy where when Dylan Cease has a bad outing, he might still have 9 strikeouts and 4 or 5 earned runs. That's not really happening with some of these Dodger pitchers, but there's just a lot of run support. They're pitching well. He does have a 1.5 expected ERA higher than his current, but it doesn't change the fact of like, I would be maybe more than just spot starting.
He's a temporary tattoo. That's what he is. He's not the long-term solution. And Welsh, I don't think he's going to get overexposed. And that's what you're saying, I think, to everybody, if I'm correct, which is, look, this guy's not great, but he's pitching for the Dodgers. He's going to make a couple starts. He's got win equity. You're in a pinch for starting pitching right now. You go there and you're going to burn and churn him into somebody else eventually. But for now, he's a guy that could be useful in the month of July. Also, after the All-Star break, keep an eye on DL Hall. Qualifies at RP, but he might get another shot at this rotation spot. He did throw 60 pitches, 3 innings on Saturday, 1 run, 5 hits, struck out 4, walked 1. This was the guy that came over from the Orioles in that trade for Corbin Burns. He's 20% rostered. The Brewers have all sorts of rotation problems with some injuries and performance. I think DL Hall is going to get a look in this rotation sooner than later, probably after the All-Star break. Welsh, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think that's a high possibility. I had brought to the table, maybe it was last week or the week before, on the prospect segment, Chad Patrick, who was a former Diamondback who moved over. That's a guy that also could get an opportunity in the rotation near future. Good strikeouts. But DL Hall is a player they touted that they wanted to put into the rotation. He's had some sustainability issues when he was an Oriole, but if you lay out the pitching prospects, he'll be the number one because Gasser, I think, is having Tommy John surgery. Carlos Rodriguez wasn't great. DL Hall will be the number one given the opportunity. So, yeah, I think
you don't have to worry about innings, too. He's missed most of the year. So now it's a matter of, hey, can you give me 75 innings down the stretch?
Very true.
I think that answer is probably yes. And that's a good thing for the Brewers. So there you have it, everybody. That's the waiver wire for week 15. Drop your comments below, of course, if you're watching, and let us know who you're picking up this week. And as always, head over to FantasyPros.com for more waiver wire content on the MLB side. Welsh, little 3 up and 3 down. Then we'll get to the injuries. Brenton Doyle homered twice. JD Martinez, a 3-run bomb. And David Peterson, no decision against the Nats, but 6 1/3 of 2-run ball. Not too bad. 3 down. Bryce Wilson, 5 runs in 4 innings against the Rockies. Hunter Harvey, 5 runs, 4 earned at the top of the 10th. Take the big L. And Dalton Varsho continues to hit nothing. Hitless again. 7th consecutive start. 0 for 3 yesterday against the Astros. So Dalton Varsho not performing very well. Injuries.
Not great.
MRI on Corey Seager's left hand, negative. That's good. Vlad Guerrero was not starting yesterday. We had Zach Gallen start, moved up to next Thursday against the Dodgers. That's apparently what's going on. Justin Verlander has yet to resume throwing because of the neck issue. So that's not good. He's not even playing catch right now. Not even baseball activities. He's not even opening packs of Topps baseball cards. No baseball activities. None. Brandon Nimmo was out yesterday after he cut his forehead after falling in a hotel. Now, if you know Brandon Nimmo, he's kind of like a choir boy. So I kind of want to know how this happened. Like, did Brandon Nimmo go out and like party with the guys once and like stumbly bumbly back to the hotel room? Because Nimmo is a well-known, like I said, good boy. So I want to hear more about this story.
What are we implying?
I'm not implying anything.
Are you trying to say he likes to have a good time? Is what you mean?
On the road? Maybe. I don't know. But I would think more of him if he did.
I don't know. I want to one day write a book about, I won't, but I want to write a book about all of the ridiculous injuries that players have gotten from the, what was it? Clint Barmas fell through the roof of a barn and hurt himself.
That fell down the stairs and tripped over his dog years ago.
Yeah, there was a guy, a tile fell out of his shower and broke his toe. Like baseball players are undefeated on the most asinine injuries.
Can opener, I remember. Like, I just don't remember if I believe any of this.
This is probably something like that. He's probably like, oh, a YouTuber was filming me and I tried to do a backflip and I slipped and fell on a poodle. You know, like you don't know what it's going to be.
How do you fall in your hotel room? Like, what are you doing? Like,
oh
no, I fell over. Like, they're not even that big, the rooms.
Maybe it was a Yankee hotel room.
That's one more note. Kodai Senga out since the beginning of the year with a shoulder injury, is going to make his first rehab start on Wednesday. That's tomorrow for Single A Brooklyn.
Kodai
Senga is going to make it. All right, Welsh, you know what time it is. It's that time yet again. It's Tuesday. It's time for the best bets
of the day
with Joey P and the Welsh. Make sure you place your bets over Bet365. Bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets when you use the promo code leading off only at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. Terms and conditions apply. Welsh, why don't you start with the betting today? Because I went full James Wood and it was 0 for 3.
Oh, because I was 3-0 yesterday? Is that
you were 3-0? I was 0-3. I was, I wanted to have fun. It was 3 games on the slate, only one at night, really. I just wanted to have some fun.
You were having fun. No, it was great to have fun. I wanted to have a little bit of fun, and I just bet the one hit for James Wood, and that paid off. So, yes, it was a nice clean sweep of a very short slate. I will tell you, we have a lot more and a lot more enticing stuff today. So it's going to be either a volume day, and volume days haven't done so well, or it is just going to be honing in. So here are a couple of my favorites. And this is kind of like a ladder, to be honest with you. I've got a single bet, I've got a 2-piece parlay, and then I got a 3-piece parlay that I'm playing around with, but you'll understand it. So number 1, Boston Red Sox, first 5 innings. I love my first 5s. I am going for them to be up a run. So minus 0.5, that's minus 120 right now, because I'm backing Cutter Crawford. I'm a big Cutter Crawford fan. I mentioned him in some videos recently, and his K percentage since June, he's been in like the top 10 in K percentage and K minus walk percentage. So his strikeouts have really taken a jump up. That is why, I'll be honest with you, I am taking his just individual strikeout number, but I'm putting this together for my second bet. Cutter Crawford, alternate strikeouts at 5, paired with Tariq Skubal's alternative strikeouts at 5. Interesting about Skubal, he has only had less than, how to say this right, he is only once this entire season not had 5 strikeouts. That's a better way to put it. Every single start, he has had 5 strikeouts or more, except for one that was against Houston. This matchup, it's a fine matchup. It's a good strikeout number. He usually hits this, and then it's not crazy. We're not looking at 6.5 or 7.5. So give me Skubal and Cutter Crawford, both at 5, paired together. That I got at minus 130. So that one's juiced up. And then here was something I did the other day. I had a lot of fun with it. So I'm going to run it back, and I hit it. And this was taking 3 first 5s and getting the plus 1.5. So just going to pair this and slow down for a minute. This means that each team will be within 1.5 runs by the end of the first 5. So plus 1.5 on these 3 teams and their favorites. I'm taking the Boston Red Sox, the Baltimore Orioles, and the San Diego Padres. So that is backing Cutter Crawford, Grayson Rodriguez, and Dylan Cease, that their team can be losing by 1 run through the first 5, and I still hit this if they're winning. Beautiful. It's a lot of teams. It's riskier. It's plus 118. I put a little bit more on it, but again, the Boston Red Sox, the Baltimore Orioles, and San Diego Padres through the first 5 innings, plus 1.5. I'm going to see if I can run one of those back. Those are my bets as a jet flies right over me. You guys probably heard that.
Happening there?
That was a fighter jet. It was like the angel. What is it? Just flying over
angels, or
just going Welsh's bets.
The bomber flying over Welsh's bets at the very end there. Look at that. How do you follow that? I don't know, but I'll try. The White Sox at Cleveland. You got Flexen and Carrasco on the mound, so I'm gonna go with the over and the total runs over 9. I think we can get there. Flex and Carrasco should be good for it, theoretically. So let's go start there. This one's a bit of an upset. You're right, Welsh. We talked about this earlier. Luis Gil, on paper, this should be a good situation for him tonight. But I can't get away from this number on the money line for Cincinnati. Even if Gil pitches well, can they keep it close? Maybe. I don't know. Plus 172 with the way Gil has pitched his last 2 starts. It's too tempting of a number.
Such a hater.
I'm not a hater. I'm trying to live in the now. And plus 172 is a really nice number on the money line. There's a lot of things that can go right and wrong in a baseball game. Even if Gil bounces back, I'm getting almost 2-1 on this. It's hard not to take it. So plus 172. Look, Marte's up there. Ellie De La Cruz has been hot again. I like the Reds' chances of going in there and either putting a hurting on heel, or if heel bounces back and everything's right with the world, maybe you keep this game close. One bounce of a ball goes the other way, but I don't know, man. The way things are going, I can't turn away from this number plus 172 on Cincinnati on the money line. Also, speaking of the money line, Detroit with Skubal on the mound on the road against Minnesota. I think Skubal handles his business minus 108. You're getting that's a pretty good number, almost even money on that. So that's where I'm going today for my best bets of the day. Download the Betting Pros app, and you can follow us at bettingpros.com/Joe/Welsh. Those, my friends, are the best bets for Tuesday in Major League Baseball. All right, Welsh, let's hit the home run board and take a look at it. I'm still at 23. You should have one extra, but life is cruel. Today, you can always go to the Discord, fantasypros.com/chat. Join that today. And don't forget, if you're out there trying to do nice things, the Orlando Cabrera jersey can be yours. All you have to do, fantasypros.com/MLB review. If you're listening to the show, if you're watching the show, it doesn't matter. fantasypros.com/MLB review. Take the moment, drop a 5-star review of the show, and you could win this throwback Montreal Expos jersey. So today I'm keeping it simple. I'm going back to the well for the over that I was discussing, and I'm going to go with Jose Ramirez from my homer. Welsh, I don't see a homer in this for you. Where are you going for your home run? What is this mystery? You didn't put one in today.
Well, I was working on everything else, but you want to know so funny? While you were doing all the stuff, I was kind of going through and I'm like, all right, who do I want to roll out my homer? And then I was like, oh, I found who I want to roll. Jose Ramirez. And then I look and you had stupid Jose Ramirez on the board.
Now you're going to be so mad today if you don't hold hands with me and Jose Ramirez.
Oh man, do I hold
now
the
you're
hands?
damned forever.
All right, I am going to go with, you know what? I'm going to hold hands again. That was my gut. I'm going to go with the gut here. We're going to go Jose Ramirez. I'm going to go hand in hand, reaching out,
touching you, hitting bombs on the board.
Sweet Jose Ramirez. Ba, ba, ba.
So many home runs in Cleveland this year. So many. All right.
They got the panel out and it's just flying out to far right field now.
That's it. Just knock out all the wood paneling. That's what you got to do. Take the old house.
Wood paneling.
Yeah. We'll be back tomorrow with more baseball. If you haven't already, subscribe to Fantasy Pros MLB. And hope you enjoyed the show today and hope you have a great rest of your day. And appreciate you guys who all join us live in the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Jose, 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 Jose.